Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial we are going to turn these composition notebooks that you can get everywhere, even the grocery store, for $1 or less. We're going to turn them into a sweet journal that has sort of a vintage feel to it that you can use for anything, from having it be a prayer journal to a to-do list to keeping track of anything you want, or just journaling, and they make great gifts. And they're just really sweet. I've made a zillion of these in my 6 or 7 years of crafting here on Facebook. So that's basically what you need. I'm using this Mod Podge. Actually, I'm going to use this one. This is one I like the best. It's matte. This came from Dollar Tree. But you can use this gloss or luster Mod Podge, or you can even make your own. And then I'm using this book today. This is a this is Random House Dictionary of the English Language that I picked up several years ago at Goodwill. So that's what I'm going to use. But let me show you some other options and then we'll hop right in. This has such pretty illustrations too that you could totally focus on those, but I'm just going to be using plain words. So this is also a dictionary that you could use. This belonged to my Mamu. She left me a set of these, and they were just sitting in a cabinet for years and years and years collecting dust, and I decided to bring them out and to do something wonderful with them. I know there's those of you who don't like to cut up books. If that's the case, you could use scrapbook paper, you could use all kinds of different papers and things. You can even print dictionary pages or copy them. Here's another book that I've picked up. This has a larger print, but this was also a Goodwill find, and this one is the New Britannica Webster Dictionary and Reference Guide. And then here's another. I don't think I need to purchase any more of these at Goodwill, but this one has really, really small print. And some of them have yellowish pages. Some of them have whitish pages. The prints can be all different sizes. So we're going to go with this one today, and I'm just going to cut out a couple of pages. This project only takes a few pages. Really, absolutely does not matter where we start. I'm using my X-Acto knife. I'm being careful. Some dictionaries you can just pull the pages out of. I need at least 2 pages. Let's see if we can get 3. No, we'll use 2. So how is everyone doing today? Let's see, where can I put this? Set it right there. Okay, so when I am going to be decoupaging, I don't like this open space. So I will usually start by cutting that off. And because I don't want everything to be straight lines, I'm going to do kind of a swirly-do type of a cut. I'll show you. And then you can make your pieces big or really small. So what I found out over years of doing this kind of thing is that making them really small just makes you have more work to get them decoupaged on your journal. And it's honestly not necessary. So go for medium, and then maybe cut a few thin, long slices to fill in, and maybe a few little pieces. Okay, can you see how that's not straight? I didn't just straight chop the margins off. And now I'm going to follow the way this one is laid out. I'm going to cut this into thirds. this is the paper, and I am just going to cut it into pieces. Some of these have graphics on one side or the other, like this one. So I would probably use this side. Okay, and then I'm going to cut one kind of longish bit, and then I'll cut this into a couple smaller pieces. Okay, so there's my paper. All right, let me turn on the fan because it's either warm in here or I'm hot flashing. It's most likely I'm hot flashing. Can you relate? Can anyone relate to that? Okie dokie. So, while I'm getting started, let me show you a few of the different things that I've done with these composition notebooks. I just dug these out to show you, to give you a bunch of ideas. And some of these designs are no longer available. Like this Proverbs 31 design isn't available anymore, but it's just a composition notebook. And for this one, I did use much smaller pieces of paper. Here's another pretty one. This is an idea that I made where I used some elastic that I just attached to the back to hold it closed, and I used some E6000 and some hot glue to attach some buttons to it. Here's one that I obviously didn't finish. I don't know why not, but I stenciled this and then I was working on painting over the top. This one I made a couple of years ago, and this is a napkin that I decoupaged over the top. Here's another one that says prayer, and this is a big piece of elastic. This one says be still and know that I am God. And then I put a little flower in the corner. And then this one says let everything that has breath praise the Lord. I put a little flower in the bottom, and I added some ribbon to tie this one closed. So hopefully that gives you a whole bunch of ideas of what is possible. I mean, honestly, if you were having some girls over, or guys, or kids, or grandkids, and you wanted to do a craft project, this is a fun project to do, and you can go with what you have on hand. Okay, so I'm using my matte Mod Podge, and I'm just going to pour a bunch on here. One thing I want to tell you, and then we'll hop ahead because I've been working, so we'll go to this next one after I show you the basics of this, and we'll trim it up and we'll finish it off. Okay, so I just squeezed some Mod Podge on here, and I'm not going to cover the spine of this, so, sorry, I'm going to come down a little lower. So before I'm all finished, I'm going to make sure that I brush it with some Mod Podge so it doesn't look funny, shiny in some spots and dull in others. That will make sense in a minute. Okay, so now I'm just going to start laying some pieces on and adding Mod Podge to the top as I'm going along, and I'm turning them winky wonky as I'm going. Some are headed up, some are headed down. And I would say that each one of these takes about half of one of these little bottles that you can get at Dollar Tree. You can also buy Mod Podge at any craft store, But you can make it too. So if you want to make some, it's basically just white school glue and water. And you can ask Mr. Google or Miss YouTube what is the recipe, and they have it, I'm sure. So you can see how, let me hold this up. I'm just kind of going winky wonky, winky wonky, and adding Mod Podge as I'm going along. Especially if I'm going to be layering, I want the layer underneath. I want my pieces to stick. So let's go a little bit further and then I'll talk to you about the spine. I see lots of people hopping on. How's everyone doing? Here's the question to answer. Are you a paper person? I would say that I am 100% a paper person. I like to make lists. I love to write in my Bible. I do that all the time. I like to do sort of short form journaling. And I'm not the type that could keep everything, like my schedule, on my phone. I need to have it on paper. So tell me if you are a paper person. Okay, so here's a really cute little graphic of a seal or something. Or a walrus or something. But I'm going to use the other side of it. Okay. So I'm going to pause here and let me just tell you the rest. I will continue on after we're finished here, and I'll finish this one up. But if you notice the margin, the binding looks kind of messy if it has the Mod Podge on it in some areas and not all. And so what I like to do to make sure that I've done is I'm just going to go over it kind of in, I don't know, it's going to dry clear, but it will have brush strokes on it. Can you see that? You can go around and do the back part of it too if you want. It looks neater. It looks more like this. Where the back that I haven't done is shiny. So let's put this aside. And let's move on to the next step. It's going to take, well, depending on the humidity where you are, this even still feels a little bit damp, but I think it'll be fine. It's going to take a little while for this to be fully dry that you can move on to the next step. I did this morning. And you can see that I wasn't neat about the edges at all because we're just going to basically cut those off. I'm thinking I might hit it with the hot air for just a moment. So hang on. Let me get this plugged in. Okay, I'm going to say that's good enough. If you opt to use a stencil and some chalk paste to put a design on here, then probably your last step after that's dry is to give it a spray of clear matte sealer spray. Just so if the chalk paste would ever get damp, it's not going to smear. But with what we're going to do is we're going to use some rub-on transfers from Magnolia, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch, and then I'll show you what we're going to be doing. With this, you don't need to do a final step. You certainly can if you want. Put some kind of a spray sealer on it, but it's not necessary. Okay, so what is a rub-on transfer? Well, a rub-on transfer is a beautiful design like these. I have a whole drawer of some that I have partially used. And basically it's just an image that you're going to cut it out and then you're going to rub it onto your surface and it's there. It's so easy. And at magnoliadiy.com they have a ton of beautiful images. This would be great if you were going to do this as a your grocery shopping list that you would carry around in your purse and that you make notes of what you need or maybe what you want to cook that week or anyways. So they have a huge variety. Everything from vegetables to mushrooms to chickens to Easter and lambs and crosses to vintage papers. They have a ton of beautiful designs at magnoliadiy.com. You can also just comment transfer, TRANSFER, that's what these are called, rub-on transfers, and I'll send you a direct link. I'll message it to you. Okay, but I'm going to use this one. And just so you know, the transfers come and go on their website. I don't know which ones in particular are available today, but this is the one I'm opting to use. I could have used any one of those. And I think I'm going to use this one that says, let all that you do be done in love, 1 Corinthians, and then it has blue hydrangeas on it. So let me cut that out and then we'll deal with we will deal with the edges of my journal. Okay. So that's what we'll be doing. Okay, so all you want to do is basically trim as close to the edge as you can. And I'm not going to add any ties or ribbon or elastic to this one, but you certainly can. I showed you the other journals that had that if you want something that will hold it closed. Okay, so can you see? You could also use an X-Acto knife if you wanted to do this that way. I'm just trimming mine with scissors. looks pretty good. This is up. So make sure you have it going the right way. And also you can cover the pages if you're worried about some of the Mod Podge slipping down and gluing them together, which I have a little bit of that happening. But if you're just gentle, you can, if they have any Mod Podge that's glued one page to the next, you can separate it easy enough. Okay, so this says, let everything you do be done in love. 1 Corinthians 16, verse 14. And this right here is a handy dandy little scraper tool that you can also get if you comment transfer. You can get a set of 3 of these. They're not expensive at all. And this is great for applying these rub-on transfers. So I'm going to peel this apart. I'm just taking the backing sheet off, and I'm being careful not to touch the design here. And I'm just going to kind of see where do I want it to be. I do want the words to be straight. I'd say that's pretty good. It's adhesive, so it's stuck on there. Now we're going to rub it to get it fully affixed, and then we'll pull this top plastic off. So you're just going to do some rubbing. And I wanted to tell you guys that they have a, Magnolia has a new design that will be coming out sometime this fall. I don't have a release date on it, but it's a transfer like this that has cardinals on it, and it was designed by my friend Renee Cade, and it's lovely. So if you love cardinals or birds in general, stay tuned because I'll post details when that becomes available. I don't have any information about the release date right now. Let's see if this is starting to lift. The fine lines and the script are the part where you need to pay attention to make sure that it's all getting adhered down. And you can put these rub-on transfers on a ton of different things. I probably wouldn't put them on fabric or a t-shirt or anything that you were gonna need to wash, but all kinds of other projects can have rub-on transfers. I'm just being real careful to get my words all nicely adhered here. Once I get down to the hydrangea part of this, it's easy peasy. Da, da, da. Whoa! My glasses came apart. Isn't that pretty? And this is such an affordable project, so quick and easy to do. Like I said earlier, if you don't have dictionaries or old book. I mean, it could really be a new book too if you wanted. But if you don't have that kind of paper, you can do this with scrapbook paper. You could use wrapping paper. You could try using newspaper, but I don't know if it would smear or how that would work. But anyways, that is the project. Do a this or a this if you liked it. I know it was pretty darn simple, but sometimes simple is best. Feel free to sprinkle, comment, transfer if you just want to take a peek. Magnolia has, 20 or 30 different designs. They have Christmas, they have fall, they have summer, they have Easter, they have a huge variety. And one of my all-time favorites is this one here with birds. So they have some that are kind of funky, like this one. But lovely. Strawberries and ladybugs and mushrooms and poppies and all kinds of fun things. So if you want to take a peek at the variety that they have, just comment, transfer, and I'll send you a link so you can look at the whole entire list. Anyways, I hope that you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. I will finish up the other one that is in process, and I will put probably this transfer on it that says, "She is more precious than rubies," Proverbs 31:5. Or I might do this one. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord," from Jeremiah 29:11. Or I could do this one, "Rejoice in the Lord always." And again, I say rejoice, from Philippians 4:4. So lots of good choices. Hope that you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you guys again very soon for more crafting.